I don't play no Beyoncé records. It's not because of Jay and the problems we have. It's because of the respect I got for him. You understand what I'm saying? So last time I saw Jay and Beyoncé, that was Shaka's party. I ran into her. We talked and I said, there's Rachel right over there, and go right over there. I don't want that. I don't even want her to have the chance to like me because it's hard not to. I'm not gonna say she do or don't.
Defamation of character, the whole 9 yards. So Jay gonna have to say, I didn't write that, my lawyer wrote that. But he came out like saying that he wrote it, like he was doing that. So he got him a defamation claim, defamation, I think Tony Buzzard got a defamation lawsuit against him right now. Against his character, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards.
For black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome, like you were saying. It's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
Hip-hop's full of powerful duos. Some make history, others crash and burn under fame, money, and pride. Few stories hit harder than the wild rise and messy fall of Roc-A-Fella Records, the empire once ruled by Jay-Z and Dame Dash. At first, they were brothers in hustle, moving like family, stacking millions, and building a label that defined the late 90s and early 2000s. But behind the flashy success, the whispers got real. People started saying it wasn't just business tension, that Dame Dash was getting too close to Beyoncé right when she started seeing Jay. Did Jay really pull Dame aside and check him for crossing the line?
Is there any truth to you trying to talk to Beyoncé while she was with Jay?
Nah. You know, I like Willie D a lot, and I was surprised that he had someone that's not credible on his show like that. But some things that he says are true, but everybody knows. But like the things he says, like intimate, he's not a Roc-A-Fella specialist. We never respected him as a Roc-A-Fella. He was never any of our friends. None of that. He was just a hired employee like the hundreds of people that have done that. He just happened to be getting content. Like I said, whenever you talk to someone that said that they would know everything because they taped everything and you took all the footage, show it. Back it up. Pause. You know what I mean? But I would never try to talk to another man's wife. Before that I ran into it once, and I think I got a number at this Victoria's Secret show, but to me, she was like a little girl. So I was going after Giselle. You know, I wasn't going it was like Giselle, everybody, and Naomi Campbell was a lot of people that she hadn't realized the potential yet. But it was because I honestly was like, I'll call you to talk to you. But that was like a year or two before all, you know, that she wasn't, she was probably like almost, like she was, I don't want to say this because it'll trigger too much, so, but I never tried to talk to her after that. Well, I would never, you know, we're rock stars, so yes, definitely, it wasn't like I never looked at one of his girls and said, I'm gonna smash her. That never happened. Once he would hit the chick, then I'm not fucking with it. But before, we would go hard. But he would do that a lot. Like, you know, girls, you know, again, I'll put it in the book. You know, but I never chased his chicks, but sometimes if there was a choice, they would choose me a lot. And sometimes they would choose him. But you know, Aaliyah hadn't, if he would have touched her physically at all, you know, any penetration or anything like that, then I could have never wifed her. That would have never, I'm not a guy that's ever gonna wife a girl that my friends, I'm not ever gonna do that. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't do that. I can't walk in the room and they got that connection, never. So the only reason why we were both going at her, but she chose me. That's all. But it wasn't like I was trying to take his girl. I mean, he might have had PTSD because of that, which I'm sure he did. You know, I can't help how a girl feels, but you know, I wouldn't. He knows I would never do that. You know, I don't even listen to Beyoncé records because I don't want to fuck her. I don't want to see her shake her body. Even though Jay, I still consider her my brother. I don't even really know what she looks like. You understand what I'm saying? I don't really look at her. I don't listen to her music. To me, her music portrays her, and the way that she dances and stuff puts her in a light. So I feel funny looking at it. I can't even really, I don't play no Beyoncé records. It's not because of Jay and the problems we have. It's because of the respect I got for her. You understand what I'm saying? So last time I saw Jay and Beyoncé, that was Shaka's party. I ran into her. We talked and I said, "There's Rachel right over there, and go right over there." I don't want that. I don't even want her to have the chance to like me because it's hard not to. I'm not gonna say she do or don't, but I don't even want that. I don't want I've had connections with other people's girls and I'd be like, you know better than that, and walk off. Like we'll get the eye, let's stop talking because you know homeboy's gonna go crazy, let's go. And I'm not gonna say who that is. But it's happened that I've said no to other niggas' wives a lot that I respect, that everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't do that. And to niggas' daughters. Like if your daughter, I get really offended when I hear that certain niggas, and you know who you are, have ran up in my daughter's DM. And I'm like, damn, that nigga is so crazy. I'm like, that nigga knew you was a baby. And I'm gonna step to that nigga when I see him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know that's my daughter. Like, either way, out of respect, bro. I know it's my daughter. But you already know what you're gonna do. I know, I tell me and my daughter got the best, I tell her everything. All these niggas do wanna fucking tell everybody. Do not do it. Only with somebody that really loves you, make him earn. And once he does that, he's responsible for your bills, because I did that for your mother. Fuck all that.
Could that be what cracked their bond and set Roc-A-Fella on fire from the inside? This story is all about how loyalty, love, and ego exploded inside one of hip-hop's most legendary crews. Back in the mid-1990s, Jay-Z wasn't the billionaire icon he is now. He was a hungry rapper, just trying to be heard. Major labels kept passing on him, calling his sound too street. But Dame Dash believed in him when no one else did. Along with Kareem Biggs Burke, the third piece of the Roc-A-Fella puzzle. They weren't just making hits, they were rewriting the culture itself. Everywhere you turned, Roc-A-Fella's name was shining. From the charts to the streets.
I don't even know how good she looks. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? I could see what she's doing, and it's enough to turn away. Like, I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to see her butt. I want to see it, man. I don't want to see it. I don't know how he deals with that, but that's on him. That's just not me. That was an issue I was having with Aaliyah. Like, at the time, it was like I wasn't trying to be in love with a girl that's gonna be doing kissing scenes and be in the studio with a nigga. No, I don't want that for me. I want you with me all the time. A nigga that's gonna be with you in the room for 12 hours will definitely fall in love. I did. So why would I want to put you, I was doing everything I can, like, yo, let me get your shit right so you don't have to be around nobody or leave to Australia for 4 months and do kissing scenes with niggas. I didn't like that shit at all. That's what, I don't know what would have happened. And that's what's great about that situation is we never got to get to an argument. All I can remember is the golden times. But usually a long-term relationship has some dark times. I just never had any with her because we didn't get that long terms. The years we were together, she was on the road and doing movies a lot. But we were really in love. And yeah, she was the coolest.
And speaking of Aaliyah, that's another rumor that's been going around for a while too. And I hate to even ask you about this, but I'm sure you've been saying the same thing. It's been a rumor going around about that, about how she was with Jay first and you took her from Jay.
He was talking to her, but I didn't know. He's sneaky, so I didn't know. So when I was talking to her, she was like, how's Jay? And so she said, like, oh, he must have tried it too. So it wasn't like I knew, I didn't know. Like with Beyoncé, it was some sneaky shit. That nigga flew to LA and stood, and it was, you know, he's slick, pause, he's cunning. So you never really know what Jay, you don't know who Jay's cunning. The way he pulled Beyoncé was cunning. Real cunning. But that's his business, I ain't know. So let me just say this, you see how you say it's, wait. You see how you say it's going around the internet? That's why I have to speak on certain things, or else it'll stay going around the internet and people will believe it, and it does affect my business. But if you're not a boss, you don't understand that. That's the reason why you see the dude from Apple, before he died, he said his truth, because he knew algorithms. What's his name, Steve Jobs? You see Elon Musk speaks a lot, because the reason why you didn't speak before is because there wasn't an internet, there wasn't an algorithm, there wasn't social media. So now you have to approach business a little different. You have to be able to adjust. There's different weapons out there and there's different ways to fight them. These people that do certain things, they know about clipping, I know all the tricks, I just don't do them.
Jay-Z was the face of the empire. And Dame Dash was the loud voice pushing it forward like a man on a mission. On the outside, everything looked unbreakable, but behind the fame, tension was quietly growing. As Roc-A-Fella exploded, so did the egos. Dame Dash stayed bold, flashy, and reckless, the kind of boss who made every room his stage. Jay was the opposite. Calm, quiet, and always thinking 10 steps ahead. But then came Beyoncé, and everything changed. Jay met her around 1999 or 2000 when she was still with Destiny's Child. Young, focused.
I like the way you spelled the name too, so you know America knew how you put E and U. Yeah, I like that, man. And speaking of movies, right? So you was behind all the movies at Roc-A-Fella.
Every single thing that happened in Roc-A-Fella was basically my idea. But yeah, Homeboy did his job, he rapped.
How did State Property come?
Well, that's my model for music. If you want to break a record, I just looked at who was the most successful. So, whether you like it or not, Elvis was one of the most successful. And the same time Elvis was the #1 rock and roll artist, he was the #1 actor. You look at Prince, Purple Rain, right? You look at Diana Ross, she made movies. The ones and the artists that you remember are the ones that made movies. That's how you break, any group. So Roc-A-Fella, we broke with, because we were in trouble until Streets is Watching. You know what I'm saying? Big trouble. And, when State Property, I gave him the name State Property because they were always in jail. Every one of them, except Freeway, always had a case. So we like, we might as well just call y'all State Property. And it was about making a movie, and in the movie, putting all the crew in there, putting all the clothes, it was based, it was inspired by things and true events that had actually happened, but then it got completely exaggerated and turned into straight fiction. And then we made a soundtrack, and I put the way I looked at it was, because every artist, had a budget, but if I could do one project and put all the artists on it, it wouldn't come out their budget, it would be a new budget, and whichever record or single from that soundtrack kicked off, that would be the artist that would come out first. That would dictate, who we would put our attention on, because you couldn't work all these different records at one time. It's just too much money on the street and not enough resources and not enough manpower. And what came out of that, I think, was Chris and Neef, their single. Well, it was a bunch of stuff. But it was like a way I could make videos without, taking it out of their budgets.
So the Streets is Watching was your idea?
Come on, bro. Yeah, of course. Yeah, what happened there was, and again, look at the receipts. For some reason, Homeboy wanted to be, and I hate to say this now, but Puff was killing him, right? He was killing him is when Biggie died. And on another note, I was in the studio when Source Money wrote Every Step You Take, because Puff started to try to pay the artist on Roc-A-Fella and State Property to come write for him. And I wouldn't let any of them go over there without me, because I didn't want them to be influenced by whatever was going on over there. So I was like, I'm going over there. I would never let them go over there without me. And I would make sure I negotiated all their deals. So anyway, Puff was rolling. I remember running into Mace right before he did that video with the red shiny suit on. And I'm teasing him like, yo, what are you doing with a red shiny suit on? And he was tight, like, man, Puff got me doing this. And I'm like, yo, what happened to Mace Mussolini? But that.
And already a superstar in the making. They didn't jump into romance right away. Beyoncé later said they were just friends for over a year, talking on the phone every night and building real trust. By 2001 and 2002, the chemistry was undeniable. They started showing up together at events, and soon after came 03, Bonnie and Clyde, and Crazy in Love. The videos, the performances, pure fire. Fans didn't need confirmation. Everyone could see something major was happening between them. While Jay was falling deeper for Beyoncé.
It was just me and Jay. It wasn't like we was running with a crew or none of that. We were just gonna be like, yo, what's up? That's all. It wasn't like, He was talking about us. We wasn't talking about him. So, you know, he was coming into New York, and we were probably going to be in the same place. So it was like, obviously we knew we were going to run into him. So we were like, yo, we might as well get to him before he get to us. So we was trying to see like, yo, what was it, you know? We were just trying to see what his temperature was. Is this rap or what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Why did Jay redo Pac, Me and My Girlfriend, knowing that him and Pac wasn't, you know, on good terms?
I have no idea, because he had a girlfriend. To me, that was his introduction. He wanted everybody to know that homegirl was his girlfriend. That's how I looked at it. But I wasn't at that point. I wasn't around him that much. Like when that record came out, I was in Europe. I watched the rough cut from like Paris or something. Like at that once homegirl got in the picture, our relationship had evaporated. It was already gone. Like I said, he wasn't talking to Biggs for like a year. Him and Biggs weren't talking for like 2 years, or a year before that. It might have been like 2 years they wasn't talking. It was crazy. What album was that on, Me and My Girlfriend?
The Gift and the Curse.
I wasn't nowhere near him for that. I don't even remember that album. I don't know a record on that album. I was out. Like, after the Blueprint, I didn't even pay attention to the Black album. I was gone. Blueprint, I would say, was like the last album that I was any part of. I mean, you know, I think after that, a lot of the essence of Roc-A-Fella was talking about our friendship. Once our friendship was over, there wasn't any more friendship to talk about. And, you know, I had no interest in what he was saying.
Dame Dash was still right there in his circle, close enough to cause waves. Word around the industry was that Dame had eyes for Beyoncé too. People who were there said he'd flirt, crack jokes, and act a little too friendly sometimes. Maybe it was harmless, maybe not, but it was enough to make things awkward. Picture it. Jay-Z, one of the biggest rappers alive, finally finding real love with one of the most admired women in music, and his business partner, his brother, allegedly crossing lines behind the scenes. At some point, Jay reportedly pulled Dame aside to check him directly. No cameras, no witnesses. But insiders claim Jay told him straight up to respect the boundaries. This wasn't just business anymore. It was about trust, loyalty, and respect. And to Jay, Beyoncé wasn't just another singer. She was the woman he was ready to build a future with. That conversation may have been the beginning of the end for Roc-A-Fella, because once personal trust cracks, no amount of money can patch it up.
Was there when he first started dating Beyoncé at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. I look back and see how old Jay-Z was. I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67, something like a 67 right there, 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyoncé, they say she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene, and Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-something years old, and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to your letter, I believe that the lawyer was doing what he did, and he threw shade at Puff in the interim of that by saying that all celebrities, you may think all celebrities are alike, you know what I'm saying? He know he's under this situation with Puff. But you gotta look at this right here. They sent him a letter, Busby sent him a letter for 2 reasons, I believe. To open up the floodgate, just like that 1-800 bad boy number did, and people start calling in saying what Puff did to them. Because he already had that information from that person when they first did the suit against Puff. She made those allegations back then. So he sent him a letter saying, yo, listen to me, man, hey, let's not let this go anywhere. Pay this off and we can walk away from it. And for what we know and what we've heard, that the girl information may not be totally right, because I know in 2000 what she just said, and me being there and around, I know the atmosphere, I know the players, I know how we moved and how we didn't move. You understand what I'm saying? So now, I know what she said about 2000 was wrong. I don't know, I'm not talking about what actually happened to her. I can't speak on what actually happened to her, but I can speak on the atmosphere that what she spoke on and how she got there. It wasn't happening. So now, to get back, they sent Jay this letter. Jay, nah, that ain't me. Guy with his lawyers and everything, his lawyers wrote that shit up, and now he presenting to the people like he wrote it. Everybody know that if he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, I know that's your man, Mighty.
By 2004, the empire they built together started to fall apart. Jay accepted a powerful new role as president of Def Jam, a major move that shifted everything. But to Dame and Biggs, it felt like straight up betrayal. They had built Roc-A-Fella from nothing, and now Jay was stepping into a new chapter without them. In the end, Def Jam took ownership. Jay got control of Roc-A-Fella, and Dame and Biggs were pushed out of the empire they helped create. Dame Dash didn't go out quietly, not even close. He fired back hard, launching Dame Dash Music Group and throwing shots at Jay-Z through interviews in the media. Even artists like Cameron jumped in, dissing Jay publicly.
I ain't want it to be over, bro. Like, we still had a lot to accomplish, man. You know what I'm saying? There still was a lot of talent there. Like, think, Skino and Sparks never got off, man. Petey never got off. Right. You know what I mean? There's a lot of who didn't get a chance, caught up in grown men. You know what I mean? Just to prove a point. And it's like, you got people's lives in the middle of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I was crushed by that too, bro. That shit wasn't a joke. Like, it was like, damn, man, the team, like, remember, I built my whole life since 14 years old. Roc-A-Fella. Right. The time I was what, 28? Almost 30? This shit was, you talking about it's over? It was like, this is all I know. You kidding me? No more baseline. Nigga, that's my hangout. Where I'ma go now? Right. Gotta go back to Marcy? Yeah, we gotta shoot again, nigga. It's on. Wow. Like, yeah, like, so that shit changed up everything, man. And then everybody went their own way. And like I said, man, I told these, like, when I knew the final straw was at the Change Clothes video, man.
Change clothes.
Yeah, me and Dame had a major argument because he was telling something to...
Another major argument?
Yeah, we always argue. Me and Dame always argue. Okay. Because it was just like, he used to be living on cloud nine, and it's like, I was on reality. Like, I always say that. In the industry, I pop every pill under the sun, but that reality pill. These don't want to accept when it's over. Right. You know what I'm saying? Niggas will be in denial and fight against that shit. And it's like, bro, you gotta accept. Niggas don't f with you, dog. It's on. Well, you gotta do something else. And it was that, like, he was basically telling, yeah, we gonna fix this. We gonna do it. And I'm looking at him like, bro, this over. And he looked at me and said, yo, you always going against everything I say, like you got a problem here. If you don't want to be with Roc-A-Fella, nigga, I give you your walking papers. You know me, like, you ain't got the power to do that. I'm not on Roc-A-Fella because of you. You crazy? And I remember, like, they broke it up, security came in there, cleared us out, and then Hove got wind of what happened. And from there, that conversation, I knew. That shit was over, blood. Gotta make new plans now, Blizzle.
What started as brotherhood, it turned into straight rivalry. Looking back, most say there wasn't just one reason for the collapse. It was a mix of business tension, clashing egos, and totally different leadership styles. But for fans who believed the whispers, that rumored drama over Beyoncé was the one thing that made everything explode.
The other freedom I see in the album is just a freedom for couples who have gone through something.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing you know, it's almost a cliche, you know, the celebrity couple, you know, they get together, they break up, you know, I'm like, well, who else are they gonna go out with? But for some reason, you took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah. What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you, I mean.
The best apology is change behavior, right? But change behavior, one. And then also you have to, you know, you have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to get on the floor, get on the mattress, and you have to really work through it and really be honest. And no matter how many times, it takes a while. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to hear. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to, you know, to listen to that sort of pain. And you just have to be strong enough. You have to be strong enough to go through that, because on the other side is beautiful. You know, in our case,
that's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, you know, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, you know, man, she's the strongest woman I know. If you her and my mother, they battling if they want one.
Beautiful. You know, I just want to say to you, you are blazing a trail, you know, for a lot of us to follow. But, you know, financially, culturally, you know, the idea of confession could save so much pain and suffering in politics and every place else. I honor you. You know, one of the guys said, you know, just make sure to ask him before he leaves, you know, is he in the Illuminati? And I said, no, I'm not gonna ask that, but are you?
I'm in the new Illuminati.
Let's give it up for Sean and Jay-Z.
As Roc-A-Fella crumbled, their family bond shattered too. Meanwhile, Jay-Z and Beyoncé only got stronger. They went public, tied the knot in 2008, built a family, and turned into the royal couple of music. 3 kids later, they became more than celebrities. They became the blueprint for power and love. Beyoncé once said, becoming a mother deepened her love for Jay, proving their connection wasn't just chemistry. It was real partnership. Their bond survived every rumor, every spotlight storm, every challenge thrown their way. For Jay, protecting Beyoncé wasn't just about love. It was about keeping his peace, even if it cost him his oldest friendships. The story of Jay-Z and Dame Dash is raw. Loyalty, betrayal, ambition, and pride, all colliding at once.
You know, I've been around Jay-Z, and one time I wanted to knock his head off, you know, because he was being disrespectful. But he didn't know he was being disrespectful, because he ain't that type of dude. You understand what I'm saying?
What happened?
We was in Cancun, and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura, and he had brought like 3 people to the club. He had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industries Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. You understand? So I'm at the door, I say, yo, Jay, you good, and 3 of your other good, but the other 3 gotta pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you can't tell no woman to handle me. You understand? When I'm talking to you as a man. So then I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? You know what I'm saying? And then me and him, you know, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you're gonna make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because, one, she was beautiful, two, she's from our block. You understand? I wasn't gonna do that to her. You understand? So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, and then the promoter said Jay can let his people come in. You know what I'm saying? But he was being disrespectful. You know, this is the same dude that Harlem cats used to laugh at and joke at. Even we was out there that time, he came to Cancun and he had a fake Versace shirt on and they was ripping him. I mean, they was ripping him. I know he's a billionaire now, he can wear whatever he got. He got $10 million watches and shit like that. But we talking about back then. You understand? We still have those stories from back then. And it's good that a brother could uplift himself. And that's why he's the type of person that he is, because he knew how guys used to treat him. That's why you could see him trying to sun people based on somebody who gets in that type of situation. You understand? This dude had the same cream deli silk shirt that I had. Now, cream deli cream shirts were fake printed Versace shirts. They were nice. You pay $45 for them, but you can't wear that around Harlem cats. You understand what I'm saying? Not if you in the rap industry. At that time, they used to have diamond testers. You understand? They'll roll up on the cat, and if your diamond don't beat, you understand? They'll talk about you. Snatch your chain off or whatever like that.
So the big question remains, did Dame's alleged behavior toward Beyoncé push Jay to cut him off for good? Or was it just one piece of a breakup that was already written in the stars? We might never know the whole truth, but one thing's clear. Jay-Z chose to protect his love with Beyoncé, no matter the cost. That decision didn't just shape his career, it defined his legacy. He went from street legend to mogul, from artist to husband and father, building something that money could never buy, a lasting family empire. Roc-A-Fella was born from loyalty and ambition, but it fell because of pride, ego, and blurred boundaries. Jay and Beyoncé are still standing strong, while Dame Dash is left looking back, wondering where it all went wrong. So here's a real question. If your closest friend crossed the line with the person you loved, would you risk it all and confront them, or stay silent to keep the empire alive? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support means everything to me and keeps this channel going strong. Your subscribe is very important to me.